Everyone, and welcome back to the Journal of Huntsman, my podcast that is acting as an audio journal where I talk about basically anything and everything. Lifestyle, philosophy, wellness, culture, mental health, or masculinity. I'm still trying to narrow down a niche for myself, but there's just so much to talk about, and it's taking a bit of time. Thank you for tuning in, wherever you are. And if this is your first time checking out my channel, I'd like to give a big thanks to you for taking the chance. A little reminder for everyone about 3 things. You're loved, you're appreciated, and you're seen. Now let's get into the topic this week as we're talking about more stuff involving love. At least the topic of this episode is how love is portrayed in television, and how that goes to shape our perceptions and expectations for love and relationships. From shows like Bridgerton to reality dating shows such as Love Island or The Bachelor, how we've come to think about love today and relationships has changed a lot. Getting right into it, I want to take a chance to talk about one of my favorite shows that I've found on Netflix in the past few years, Bridgerton. I'm not sure if I'm saying the name right, but Bridgerton is one of the Netflix shows that came out a few years ago and pretty quickly garnered a lot of attention and popularity. It's a romantic piece set in the Regency era, and from the costumes to the set designs, the show gives off a particular kind of flair and vibe that's pretty enjoyable to watch. And that's not the main catch of the show. See, fans got really into the first and second seasons for its portrayals of love and relationships in a different era. The first season follows Daphne Bridgerton and Simon Basset, and their love story actually starts out as a bit of a false narrative. I say false narrative, but that's just because of how it was portrayed in the show. I'm not going to try to spoil too much, but I will say that over time and due to various circumstances, the two characters actually start to genuinely fall in love with one another. This discovery takes time for the characters to realize, yet as the audience, we can pick up on the clues immediately. Yeah, I mean, we see the stares, we can break down their actions, and we see how this love actually develops over the course of 8 episodes. But Season 2 isn't my go-to season. I truly love what they did with Season 2 of the show, though. See, the season follows Lord Anthony Bridgerton, the older brother of Daphne and Viscount family head of the Bridgertons, and a new family that's introduced to the show, and their older daughter, I guess, Miss Kate Sharma. Now, this shift did elicit some mixed reactions from the fans of the series, as it had a change of focus. A lot of people wanted to see the story of Daphne and Simon continue. Not gonna lie, I'm pretty sure that they just wanted to see Simon again. I mean, because this guy caught everyone's attention with how good he looked, and for the show to shift focus like that rubbed some people the wrong way. But I'm truly glad that they did that change. Because in the second season, we're given a showing of love that's just far more in-depth. And that's what was needed in my opinion. We see Anthony go through the process of searching for his Viscountess, and the hurdles that come with it, both from the town and from himself. And as an older brother, I can relate a lot to what the character, what he said he'd been through and felt. He was scared of love, and at first he pursued it for the wrong reasons. He had to own up to his real feelings and come to terms with them. And this led to circumstances in the show that literally pushed the plot forward. Anthony and his growth pushed the story forward, but I loved seeing how both Anthony and Kate mirrored each other so well. Older siblings that would do anything for their family, including sacrificing their happiness. They were both damaged and lost, but driven by a kind of warped responsibility and sense of duty. They filled in for one another's gaps, and I couldn't stop myself from being happy for them, for admiring the two of them. And at the end of the day, it made me feel appreciative of the final result. A love between two characters that was passionately fought against and then embraced, with the purpose to cherish the other in a way that was honorable and meaningful. I admired that kind of love, and that's why I'll still rewatch this season of the show today. But that is just one example. And it's practically the one example that I like the most. The one example that I like because in truth, I have a lot of qualms with reality television. Reality dating TV especially can be very entertaining, but for the worst reasons. The drama is too much, but at the same time, it's just so enticing. Like, I never thought I would really get into watching The Bachelorette until my friends started having a watch party for it, and I did get really into it. So when it comes to reality dating, I think there are 2 really important things to talk about. The first is the drama, and the second is reality. Now, drama can be enticing, but I think most people would agree that we don't want drama in our lives. We want to avoid drama because it can be so draining and frustrating to deal with. I mean, it's also incredibly hard to figure out when we're in it. But when that drama isn't happening in our own lives, when it's happening on like a screen that's just going to show you situations involving complete strangers, I don't know, maybe kind of plot that's a little enticing. I don't know, but maybe it may just be me, but drama can be really hard to turn away if it's set up like that. Let's face it, life can have a lot of drama in it. A lot of ups and a lot of downs, a lot of hard paths or easy times, but what we prioritize is always the important thing. Reality dating shows aren't showing us a real account of love, at least from what I've seen. Most of them don't. You might find the rare and admired couple that ends up getting together in these shows, but the networks that produce these shows thrive off of the drama, tension, and crazy circumstances that take place on them. They manufacture reality, and as viewers we take this and then hold it up to the sky. Thousands to millions of people can probably name a toxic couple that's famous in the world, or they must know the premise of shows like Love Island or The Bachelor or Bachelorette. So the issue comes from our reality and perceptions of it. And beyond that, the problem is in our choices. Drama can be fun to watch and interesting to observe when it's not involving yourself. But when we start to forget about the line, then drama can overtake our peace. And that's the thing. Love should be about peace. Relationships, while not always easy, should be about two people figuring out how to help the other person and be helped. It's a reciprocal relationship and one that takes time. It's a process. What I see on shows like Love is Blind or the niche like that is that love is almost rushed and fabricated. Granted, I don't like watching shows like that because oftentimes it doesn't feel right to me. I get super fed up with the kind of antics that some people be doing. I can remember times watching The Bachelorette with my friends, and when I'd be actively frustrated with people in the show because I couldn't figure out why they were doing what they were doing. It just made me feel annoyed and frustrated, and I didn't like it. I guess that's also what makes reality TV so believable, because reality is just as crazy, if not crazier, than what we see on TV. I pointed that out because of a question. Do reality dating shows actually show us a kind of love that we should admire? Or does it just warp our perceptions of love and relationships so that we start to glamorize the drama, conflict, and the chaos that we see, making us devalue and lose sight of what love can bring? Honest love and being at peace. And it's not just reality dating TV. No, media in general over the last few years has had an increasingly noticeable change where they showcase inherently chaotic relationships, with characters often engaging in very self-destructive activities such as lying or cheating. I know that may sound harsh and bad, but what I want to point out is that the reasoning behind this can be twofold. Relationships in life in general can be very chaotic, so relationships in TV being portrayed as such may not be a bad thing. In society today especially, a lot of people have a very negative perception of love and relationships because so many of us are hurt and or hurting. And so seeing characters self-sabotage may make us feel like we have something or someone to connect to because we've done the same thing. It's tough to say, but it's sometimes a part of the process by which we must learn to discover love. The characters we see are so hurt that they don't focus on healing. In a few shows, I know some characters that actually actively avoid that very thing. And that's because healing is hard. It's a very difficult thing to do, and even harder when we don't know how to do it. If we don't heal and we continue to pursue and chase love, then all we're going to do is hurt more people around us, including ourselves. Which brings us to here. So what can we do? I say that we can make a choice as to what we want to pursue, and then do our very best to try it. So when it comes to media and the abundance of examples we're given today about relationships not working, or people lying, cheating, backstabbing, and hurting others, we can choose to be better. I'm not saying that we damn ourselves or damn anyone that actively watches shows like Love Island or reality dating TV or that watch just media that focuses on drama. But I'm saying that we recognize faults where they lie and don't glamorize bad behavior, including within ourselves. And actually, that's the most important part, especially within ourselves. As times are so confusing today, we may feel conflicted about what our culture is and how it functions, but there is hope. Culture is made from a collective effort between groups of people, numerous communities, and many individuals. If you want to change our culture, we have to choose what we want to change it towards and make a purposeful effort in that direction. Admire heartfelt love. Admire hard-fought love. Admire love that comes over time. Love that knows boundaries. Love that gives without expectation. Love that's understanding. Admire the love that you want to showcase. Then we have to do the hardest thing possible. We have to try and embody that ourselves. It is possible if you take things one step at a time. Whether it sounds crazy or like something possible, I know I'm not the only one out there that wants to be better. I see people every day that are putting in the effort to grow. I see it online, I see it on the street, see it in class, in the gym. Sad part is I think that most of us are still very scared of love and worried about finding the one to spend our lives with. But the flip side of that is that we're finding more peace from ourselves than from external sources. Avoiding the drama, prioritizing our peace, healing our inner child, and taking the steps needed to improve ourselves and evolve. One step at a time. So that's what I'd like to encourage you to do today. Be mindful about what you're admiring in the media and then choose things to admire that mean something to you, that are truly meaningful. Now, this was a pretty short episode, but that's all for today. Thank you for listening once again, and I hope you are all having a lovely day. And remember that you're loved, you're seen, and you're appreciated. And I will talk to you all next time.